Welcome to Learn English with Fun with 𝙛𝙪𝙣. Hello there, this is Govind here. Welcome to Learn English with Fun with 𝙛𝙪𝙣. Twice every week, we focus on English grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. In today's episode, we are looking at grammar that is considered confusing. We are having loads of quizzes to make it exciting, and we have a lot of humor as well. Stay tuned. Remember, if you need any help with your English language skills, then be sure to check out with 𝙛𝙪𝙣 by subscribing to our Spotify podcasts or search Learn English with Fun. If you don't have a Spotify account, you can visit www.𝙤𝙪𝙣.com for the complete set of our podcasts, which are categorized as per the discussion. Do note that our podcasts are short and impactful and are posted twice a week. The first one that we are going to see today is who versus whom. The actual grammar would say who should be used to refer to the subject of a sentence, whereas whom should be used to refer to the object of a verb or preposition. That is a boring definition, isn't it? Here is a simple trick so that you will remember forever. If you can replace the word with he or she, use who. If you can replace it with him or her, use whom. Let me repeat. If you can replace the word with he or she, use who. If you can replace it with him or her, use whom. Fine. Let us try this quiz to understand this even better. I am going to ask you a question and give you some time to think the right answer, and we will detail the answer after that. The question is, I cannot figure out dash gave me this gift. Would you use a who or a whom? Yeah, the answer is who, because we cannot replace the dash with him or her, which will make this sentence sound, I cannot figure out him or her gave me this gift, which sounds very awkward. So, the natural choice would be who. The second confusing structure that we are going to see is about which versus that. The actual definition of which and that are, these are common relative pronouns that are used in the English language. Which is used to introduce non-essential information, while that is used to introduce essential information. Remember that which is always preceded by a comma, while that is never preceded by a comma. But that's all good for reading. But how do I speak? That is where we have the challenges. Let us look at it with an example. The sentence one I would look at is, my books that have brown covers are new. Here we used that because we introduce a restrictive relative clause. That means the books that are owned by me have brown covers, they are all new. Let me look at this sentence. Let's say, my new books which have brown covers are on the desk. Here, which provides additional information, which means books having brown covers, about something that has already been identified, which are my new books in this particular context. Clear? Let us do a quiz now. Question A. Fill in the blank with which or that. The book dash covers soil erosion is boring. Yeah, the answer will be that, because it is talking about a book, some book that is talking about soil erosion, and it is boring. The next quiz, question B. The magazine I read at lunch, dash had pictures of cheese, reminded me to grab cheese. And the answer would be which, because it is already mentioned that the magazine that you read at lunchtime, it had pictures, so further giving additional information, so we go ahead with which as the answer. Always remember, in British English, you can use which or that for restrictive clause and it won't change the meaning, especially in informal contexts. But in American English, which is used only for non-restrictive clause. Always remember that if you need additional help with your grammar, if you want to understand everything you hear or read and you want to express yourself completely, then check out www.𝙤𝙪𝙣-𝙛𝙖𝙘𝙩.com, where you can take great online English courses on a range of different topics. The third confusing context that we are going to see now is few versus a few versus the few. Now, what is the meaning of the word few? It generally refers to a number that is not 1, not 2, possibly 3, 4 or 5, but not a large number. And the number is not specified. That is, it is not an exact number. It could be anywhere between 3 and 5 maybe. Having understood the meaning of the word few, now let us understand the difference between few versus a few versus the few. Few practically means small quantity, right? A few means some. Wasn't that confusing? Definitely it was confusing, so let us delve deeper with an example. Let us take this example sentence to understand the difference between few and a few. The sentence is, she has few options to choose her learning path. Here, the few meant that she has small quantity of options to choose, not many or almost none, zero. Let us look at this sentence. She has a few options to choose her learning path. Here, a few meant that she has some options to choose from. Let us delve into another variation, the few. The few means not many. Here is an example sentence. Let us look at it in detail. The few options she has are excellent. This means she does not have many options, but they are excellent. Remember, few has a negative meaning like not as much as may be expected or wished for. The fourth confusing construct that we are going to see is few versus little. In English, few and little are both quantifiers meaning some. Just like few, little is also used to mean negligible or none. Example, I am not happy about it, but I suppose I have little choice. This means I have no choice or close to none. When I say I have a little money, this means some or small amount of money. Now, what is the difference between few and little then? You will use a little with singular uncountable nouns, whereas you will use a few with plural countable nouns. Let us look at an example. He was sick and so he had some tea and a little food. You cannot say a few food because food is uncountable and is singular. Yes, food is uncountable, whereas if you are talking about the dishes of food available, then they become countable. So food is always singular. Let us say you are planning to have some strawberries. Then you will say, I am planning to have a few strawberries. Look at here, strawberries is plural and you can count the number of strawberries, so you will use a few. Now let us wind up on a humorous note. What do you understand by this sentence when I say that have a good humor and listen to this sentence keenly. One morning, I shot an elephant in my pants. How has he got into my pants? I will never know. Did you get the joke or the humor? This joke takes the advantage of the fact that same sentence can often be interpreted in more than one way. The first sentence can be read in two distinct ways. The first sentence was, one morning I shot an elephant in my pants. So what are the two different meanings it gives? The first meaning, the man shot an elephant while he was wearing his pants. Or the second meaning, the man shot an elephant that was wearing his pants. It is unclear who is wearing the pants, the man or the elephant. Most people interpret the sentence the first way and are subsequently startled by the joke in the second sentence, which means, how he got into my pants I will never know. Wasn't that fun? Well, today we learned and should feel confident about some of the confusing grammar words such as who versus whom, that versus which, few versus a few versus the few, little versus a little versus few versus a few. I will meet you soon in the next episode. Until then, stay safe and have a good time. This is Govind signing off for now.